I was worried my cat is dehydrated because I never see him drink water, so I've started leaving a cup of water that's mine. Aka he sees me drink out of it once before he does in my room, so he thinks he is being a rebellious naughty by drinking out of it, but really he is just following my plan and being hydrated. God in the Garden of Eden. Absolutely obsessed with the implications of this comment. You call it really bad at darts. I call it freestyle acupuncture. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the bar. Every horse movie. Sarah. No one understands me. I hate you mom for making us move out here in the middle of nowhere. There's not even cute boys. Runs away and finds mysterious farm. Old man Wilkinson. This right here little lady is a heresy. If ye can taint it's your eyes. If not, it's going back to the horse factory. Sarge walks up to horse and starts to pet its nose. See girl, you and me aren't so different after all. Old man Wonka. Why I don't believe it. She done tamed doll misery. I reckon she ought to sign her up for the Horyu show and save the farm. Cutscene of Sarah sneaking out the house to ride her horse every day until her mom finds out. Mom, young lady, you are grounded. You are not allowed to compete in the horse show. Steria. No, mom please. Runs away and almost gets hit by car, but then the horse pushes the car out the way. Mom. Maybe that's a good horse after all. This is post is incorrect. Don't you know all horse Gerals TM have their mothers die tragically in a riding accident, and it's their father who grounds them because he tragically lost his wife in a riding accident TM. Is How to Train Your Dragon a horse girl movie? Literally beat for beat. Yeah. I'm going to fucking scream. My school held a Hunger Games today, and so the victor got to ride around with Principal Effie, and I just couldn't. Your school held a Hunger Games. Haven't you heard of public school? If you haven't cried in a math class, you're not allowed to follow me. Mathematical illiterates on this blog only. You don't need to be mathematically illiterate to cry in math class. You just keep taking higher and higher math until you cry. Crying because of maths. Non-maths people. Maths people. I have NPC energy, cause most of my replies consist on okay, nice, hell yeah, no, yes, SDFGHJHDHJKJDFGHJKGHJJDFGSS. Thank you so much. More reasons I'm a NPC. If I stand still for too long, I start doing idle animations. Will only talk to people if they start conversation first. My walking speed is too fast to be walking and too slow to be running. If you talk to me too many times, I start repeating dialogue. If you do a small favor for me, I will follow you around without questions. I will drop a lot exposition if you ask. Sometimes I get stuck on doors. You may stand in a straight line from me, holding a corpse, but it's more than 10 meters, so I will not notice. Low HP. Yesterday at work these two 12-year-old boys came through my line, and I'm instantly like, oh boy. Because solo children at a grocery store are always forces of chaos, good or bad. But thankfully these ones were totally pleasant, and when I asked if they wanted a receipt, one of them pulled out a random fucking receipt from his bag and asked, do you and y'all are not my sh? What a power move. When will I ever be this funny? Bird just flew into my window and tried to play it off all cool by immediately picking at leaves on the ground like, king, it's okay, we've all been there. Manga lied to me. I never see bad boy types protecting stray kittens, therefore revealing to me their soft side. It's always me picking up the cats. Maybe I'm the bad boy. I stumbled across this in a remote part of the lake, and I really loved the surreality of it. Rate my Malay setup. Met a bunch of guys from Harvard yesterday, and I kept pretending like I never heard of that school, just to piss them off. One of them legit turned red when I said, Harvard? Is that like a local community college? LMAO. Harvard? Never heard of her. Want a more subtle way to accomplish this same kind of power move? Don't ask where in Boston. Story. I go to a fancy grad school where a lot of folks did their undergraduate degrees at fancy places. The two schools whose alumni here are the most full of themselves about it are Harvard and MIT. They'll drop the name of their alma mater at any and every chance they get. However, upon introductions, they all name drop it in the exact same way that you can take advantage of. They want it to go like this. Where did you do your undergrad? Oh, I went to school in Boston. Neat. Which school? MIT or Harvard? This way, they can act like they are trying to be humble and not mention it, but then, because you asked, they can brag. Now, I'm from a Midwestern public football university, so I get a little sick of people pulling this kind of stunt, especially because the same people give me a down their nose look after I say my school. So, I have learned that it is wildly hilarious to make the conversation go like this instead. Where did you do your undergrad? Oh, I went to school in Boston. Neat. That's a cool city. Hey, have you all seen the latest Star Wars movie? Or whatever. Subject change. Stunned and frustrated silence because they have no excuse to name drop. They can't bring it up. The topic change because it would be rude, and because the obvious response is that everyone knows that where did you do your undergrad implies what school, not what city, so they were being unhelpful in the first place. Anyway, for the small percentage of people that regularly meet braggy Boston alums, go get 'em. I'm literally obsessed with this picture of my cat. It is the definition of Renaissance painting imagery. The shading, the pose, the thoughtful twinkle in his eye. Sublime. It really is. And I really hope you cleaned his little fetus. A magical girl series where the girls transform into their D&D characters. Imagine being a typical shoujo supervillain and seeing an anin girl transform into a fucking orc. Not even a cute anim orc, just a realistically drawn Warcraft orc named Manga Skullcrush or something. None of the girls in the group transform into cute elves. It's just Lady Stormbeard the Dwarf Ranger, Skeletal Lich Balin Bloodless, Gru HGHH the Goblin Cleric. Every villain they meet is fucking terrified. Villain lying down defeated. You can't finish me off. That's the weakness of you good guys. Magical girl. You are right. Transforms into a 6-foot tall beefcake orc. But Manga is chaotic neutral. This little guy popped out of a guy's hood on the light trail. Where the F am I? Once in the 4th grade this guy got a 2% on his math quiz, so everyone called him Milk for the rest of the year. Had a realization in a dream I just had that this isn't real and I can just do whatever I want, and so I started shrinking the face of this guy that was talking to me, and then once it got real small, I woke up sleep paralyzed. I was given godlike powers over the universe by realizing it's all in my head, and the first thing I did was use them to torment the nearest man, and the actual god woke me up and put me into a 5-minute timeout to lay frozen and think about what I've done. When you wanna hurt yourself, so you paint instead. Okay, holy crap, I did not expect this to get so much positive attention. Thank you all so much. It really means a lot that you all support something that was so hard for me to do. If you take anything from me at all, take the fact that everyone can do it, even a mess like me. Helpful grammar tip. Father is for physical distance, further is for metaphorical distance, and farther is for emotional distance. This is actually slightly incorrect, because, in fact, father can be all three of these at once, if he tries hard enough. Things my dentist has actually said to me. Well, either the x-rays lied to me, or you are spontaneously creating teeth. I'm going with the second one, because it's way cooler. When was the last time you flossed? Your gums aren't bleeding, which means I'm either not doing this hard enough, or you actually floss your teeth regularly. You don't need to do a fluoride treatment. I just want to go check my Facebook for a second, and this is the best excuse I can come up with. Don't worry, your insurance will cover it. Take a whole handful of toothbrushes. I can't order new ones in less ugly colors until these ones are gone. Remember not to eat or drink anything for a half hour, or actually forget that. Go eat lemons and drink coffee right now. I make money based on people's bad decisions. You should probably stop brushing your teeth too. I became a dentist because I like making children cry, and they don't let you do that as a regular doctor. Chaotic neutral dentist. This is how my cat sees himself in the morning before I give him food. Like this post, and I will instantly teleport to your home and gobble up your shower curtain. My shower curtain is glass. Well, crunchity munchity then. You think that will stop me? When I was younger, I had a really bad fear of Danny DeVito when I was going to sleep, so my older brother gave me a watch that he set to like 8 hours ahead, so that it was always daytime on the watch when I was asleep, and he told me it would confuse Danny DeVito, and he would think it was daytime and get scared of the sun and leave me alone. Your brother is the best. Who the F changed this from vampires to Danny DeVito? The real question is why I was completely ready to accept that this person had a debilitating childhood fear of Danny DeVito. I don't get why the tolerant left is something conservatives keep bringing up. Since when was I tolerant of you? Have better opinions. Seeing Obama make Biden a friendship bracelet makes me regret downloading Snapchat a little less. I learned recently that Plato won the gold medal in the Olympics for wrestling 3 times. This puts a new perspective on things. I always imagined Plato to be frail and misshapen, but he must have been frickin' ripped. I wonder if Aristotle ever felt anxiety about getting physically, i.e. not just metaphysically, dismantled by Plato. Plato was probably pissed off by at least a handful of questions Aristotle asked him. Aristotle was a literal genius too. Imagine Plato lecturing and writing on a blackboard, and Aristotle throwing a comment out there about some complex misstep and Plato's logic, and Plato's chalk just snaps, and Aristotle's testicles suck way back up to where they dropped from. Then Plato in a blur appears beside Aristotle sitting at his desk, and he picks him up and supplexes his Macedonian ass. This needs to be a comic Laoisrism. Given the content of a lot of Plato's conclusions, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that Plato responded to a lot of reasonable criticisms with "fight me," and that was the end of it. We are not actually sure whether Plato is his real name. Some people speculate that because Platon means broad in Greek, this was actually his wrestling nickname basically. It's like Dwayne Johnson became a famous philosopher and everyone still called him The Rock. Can we have a movie about Plato starring Dwayne Johnson? You can't convince me that wouldn't be the best thing ever. A 12-year-old boy at work today made a clay snail and was painting it all black, and I very jokingly asked, "Haha, are you making a goth snail?" He proceeded to go into a fully fleshed out backstory about how his snail was conceived by Satan, had the power to eat child souls, was named after Oscar from Sesame Street, lives permanently covered in black eyeliner, and how this tiny clay snail was the only one who survived the Thanos snap. It killed me. I was doubled over and crying, and I literally had to give this kid candy to stop talking about it.